the Honourable Prime Minister, my fellow Fijians, Bula Vinaka, and good evening to you all. You are all aware the Constitution Commission, chaired by Professor Yaskai, presented the draft Constitution to me on Friday, 31st December 2012. This draft Constitution is what I shall refer to as the guide draft in my address to you tonight. You are also aware that the guide draft was handed to me immediately after the onslaught of Cyclone Evan in Fiji. After the cyclone, it was evident that all Fijians from all walks of life, irrespective of their geographical location or religious or cultural background, were affected by this natural disaster. It was also evident that all Fijians rallied together to help each other, and with the assistance of government, are rebuilding their lives and rebuilding our beautiful country. In my travels throughout Fiji, both before and after the cyclone, it is apparent that ordinary Fijians simply want to get on with their lives. They want to see improved standards of living. They want jobs. They want development. They need access to good infrastructure. They want prosperity, and they want a bright future both for themselves and their children. Whilst the Prime Minister's government is addressing these issues, and with success, this development agenda needs to continue and be given primacy under the new parliamentary system of government. We cannot lose the momentum. Therefore, under the new Constitution, we need structures of governance and institutions that will address these needs and desires of our people. The overwhelming submissions on everyday issues made to the Guy Commission are a testimony to this concern. My fellow Fijians, we need a constitution that is not only drafted for tomorrow or next year or even 10 years. We need a constitution that is enduring and that will sustain the tide of time. The Australian Constitution, which was drafted over 110 years ago, has only had 8 amendments to it since its inception. It has endured the test of time. It is also critical that the Constitution that we adopt must have the fundamental principles of democracy, good governance, accountability, human rights, and transparency enshrined in it. We need a small, non-corrupt, but efficient and responsive government that is accountable. Our Constitution must focus on the development of the individual. It must recognize our rights as individuals and preserve our individual identity, regardless of our ethnic, linguistic, religious, and geographical makeup. By giving civil and political and also socio-economic rights, we will not only protect individuals, but nurture them. Therefore, we cannot allow elitism to take place. We cannot, as in the past, allow unelected people to make decisions for the rest of the general public in the new parliamentary system. As we have seen in other countries, we need common and equal citizenry. We need a merit-based society. We need to remove discrimination. We need to remove extremist politics. We can no longer pander to the old school of thought that one ethnic group is always under threat from another. Let us call a spade a spade. Politicians of old perpetuated the myth that the Tauke were under threat from Fijians of Indian descent. This created a confrontational approach to our political and social landscape and had a disastrous impact on developing nationhood and growing our economy. Even the Guy Commission, in its explanatory report, recognizes this. It also notes that the so-called protective mechanisms through the creation of what were called native institutions, in fact, accentuated differences and prevented the growth of our people and our country to cope with a rapidly changing world. Accordingly, in order for us to forge ahead, we as a people, we as a country, must break away from the shackles of the past or any remnants of them. Unfortunately, many of the provisions of the Guide Draft positions us in the past. It has unfortunately, perhaps, succumbed to the whims of the few who have had an interest in perpetuating divisions within our society. Our Constitution cannot be drafted simply with the view to negotiate between different political interests. It would appear that the Guide Draft is such. It would appear that it was prepared to be seen as an appeasement. Rather, it should be positive, future-based, and enduring. It also neglected many of the fundamental principles of two democratic representations as presented through the People's Charter, which I have endorsed. The People's Charter, as you will recall, was endorsed by over 60% of the Fijian population. It is therefore very disheartening, and indeed it is an anathema to democratic representation that the Guide Draft allows for, at the very least, 144 members of an unelected people deciding on key issues pertaining to the people of Fiji. These 144 unelected people would be on top of the proposed 71-seat parliament, a total of 215. By way of comparison, New Zealand, with a population base of 4.5 million, has only one House of 121 members. The Guide Draft also purports to undo many of the changes brought about by the current government. For example, it includes the undoing of the Natandola projects and the Momi projects, which have, in fact, protected the investment of all FNPF members of Fiji. The Guide Draft can lead to financial and economic catastrophe and ruin. The Guide Draft also proposes a transitional cabinet following the issuance of a writ for elections, which will allow former senior civil servants to become ministers of cabinet. How is this possible when some of the former senior civil servants were corrupt and possible criminal charges are pending against them? Indeed, some of them have been convicted or are being investigated. Many of them were simply incompetent. The Guide Draft is also very bureaucratic and creates many institutions that would create inefficiency and require an oversized bureaucratic structure. There are, however, a number of positive aspects to the Guide Draft. For example, the provisions on fundamental rights, including socio-economic rights, good governance and accountability, independence of the judiciary are most appropriate. There are also many positive aspects of the Guide Draft that should be incorporated into specific law rather than in a constitution itself. Taking into consideration the key observations of the guide draft and the need to ensure that our transition to parliamentary democracy is smooth, focused on development, and enshrines actual representation, and is not marred by extremism or disruptions, I have had discussions with the Honourable Prime Minister on the way forward. Today, I have assented to the amendment of the decree on the Constituent Assembly to allow for this process to take place. My fellow Fijians, the new draft constitution must be based on the principles and values that I have highlighted. I will now ask the Honourable Prime Minister to outline the process that is to be followed. Prime Minister.
Your Excellency, my fellow Fijians, Bulovinaka and a good evening to you all. I firstly wish to thank and acknowledge the leadership and wisdom shown by His Excellency our President. Our vision to create a truly democratic nation under an elected parliamentary system will be etched in history, thanks to His Excellency our President. As requested by His Excellency, the government's legal team, will amend the guide draft to ensure that the draft constitution presented to the Constituent Assembly is one that is positive, addresses fundamental issues of good governance, will result in an enduring constitution, and guarantees true democracy. As His Excellency has highlighted, there are a number of key provisions in the guide draft that are most valuable, in particular to do with accountability, transparency, and enforcement of human rights, which incorporate socio-economic rights. The new draft should be available for deliberation by the end of January 2013. Prior to that, and upon my return from the G77 meeting, I shall send out invitations to various individuals and organizations to participate in the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly is to have its first sitting in February 2013. We expect, as announced last year, that a new constitution should be in place by March of this year. While history tells us that some individuals and organizations tend to act only in their own interests, I urge all political parties, organizations, and individuals who are invited to be members of the Constituent Assembly to participate. This is not a time for point scoring or thinking only about our individual interests, but to think about the future. It is a time to think about our country, to think about our children, to think about development, to think about improving the lives of our citizens. We must collectively ensure a smooth transition to parliamentary democracy. We are on track to hold truly democratic elections under the principle of common and equal citizenry and the principle of one person, one vote, one value. Over 500,000 Fijians have registered. The ministry responsible for elections is currently putting in place logistical arrangements to register Fijians living offshore. This Saturday, we will publish an advertisement calling for expressions of interest from companies that wish to tender to provide election material for the conduct of the 2014 election. These include ballot boxes, poll kits, and other election-related items. This advertisement will also be disseminated through our overseas missions. Letters will also be sent to our development partners through their missions in Fiji, inviting them to partner in this process should they wish to. To those who have been commenting on the guide draft, these are readily available through the internet, and indeed, all the 599 copies that were printed by the Guide Commission will be distributed during the Constituent Assembly process. Of course, the Constituent Assembly will deliberate the new draft. My fellow Fijians, by Tuesday next week, we will put in place the registration of political parties decree, which will set new and internationally accepted standards of political party governance. Indeed, many of these provisions of the guide draft in this respect have been incorporated into this law. My fellow Fijians, we are now on the verge of holding elections for parliamentary representation. We are on the verge of putting in place a new constitution. It is therefore a time for a collective effort on all our parts to ensure that we move to the next phase without any hurdles, with a view to sustain democracy and prosperity for all Fijians. Voreqe.